Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been absolutely killing the channel with the views that we've been getting, the support that we've been getting. I think we're at like 60-something subscribers. Let's try to get to 70 by the end of this month. So just keep sharing the video, keep supporting the video. I really do appreciate it. I know we're kind of far out from the season. But yeah, just keep liking, just keep commenting, keep sharing, and I'm going to jump in today's video. So as some of you may know, a lot of the top women college basketball players are playing in the FIBA AmeriCup, which is a 5-on-5 FIBA style exhibition type of game. And I'm kind of just, the basic of this video is me reacting to the first 4 games. And giving my thoughts on the first 4 games, not going too crazy, just some thoughts on what I've been seeing, what I've been liking, pros and cons to the first 4 games the ladies have been playing. Excuse my voice as well. So this team is coached by Coach Lawson, Kara Lawson. She's the women's basketball head coach for Duke. She had a really successful season last year in the ACC. I believe they won the ACC last year, and then they made was it an Elite 8 run? Yeah, I think an Elite 8 run. So she's a really well-respected coach. I know she has some NBA coaching background as well. I think she coached with the Spurs for a little bit. I might be wrong about that, but I know she is a really good coach, really defensive-minded coach. She likes players who are really physical and have a lot of high motor and basketball IQ. So it was interesting to see how this team was put together with different lineups and how different games went. But let's jump right into game 1. Game 1, the U.S. starters were Michaela Blakes, Madison Booker, Hannah Hidalgo, Joyce Edwards, and Grace Van Sloten. They played Chile in game 1. I'm trying to think if I remember the score. I don't have the score pulled up, but I'll put it on the screen. But those were the starters in game 1. And based off what I've seen in game 1, there were a lot of first quarter jitters, I guess, because this team is just so new and the ladies aren't used to playing with each other just yet, but you could tell the crowd was really into it. Chile was also hitting some really tough shots that you could tell, like, those aren't the shots they usually make, but they just, I guess they were feeling the crowd. They were feeling the energy. So they were hitting some really tough shots to begin with. Team USA, they were lackadaisical on defense. They were missing some easy assignments. Overall, just needed a moment to, realize who they were. I think, know that they can't scoop down to their competition. So it was kind of like they needed to realize who they were and play a little bit better for them to click. Next, we have Olivia Miles. I'm reading off my notes, by the way. My first standout was Olivia Miles. Olivia Miles came into this game and she absolutely shifted the energy for Team USA. She was putting players in position. She was changing the pace of the game, controlling the floor. She had really good ball movement. She had some crazy assists in game 1. Like, I didn't want to jump too soon and be like, oh my God, Olivia Miles is the MVP. But as I was watching this game, I thought to myself, Olivia Miles might have an insane college season this year. I'm talking like Big 12 Player of the Year, maybe even women's college basketball Player of the Year. The way that she was playing, and even in, we're going to get to it, but even in some other previous games, exhibition games, she played really well. But in this game, it was just like the energy completely shifted when she got out there on the floor. Another standout was Joyce Edwards in this game against Chile. She had like a really slow start. She was missing a few layups. I think she also missed a couple defensive assignments where she was getting scored on. But eventually she got very comfortable. She started to control the paint. She started to finish strong. She had a lot of tough and ones. She was cutting to the basket. She was crashing the glass. She honestly, after the first quarter, looked like the best player on the floor outside of Olivia Miles. And then some overall pros and cons that I had for game one. The pros is that this team is elite defensively when everyone is locked in, and I think that's a fact, given that Coach Lawson is probably pushing that to them, and then the fact that they just have too many defensive-minded people on the floor who can get steals, who can have good hands, and, like Hannah Hadogo, you have Joyce Edwards, you have Kennedy Smith. Like, these are players who are basically first-team all-conference player or defensive conference players when they're playing with their regular college team. Another pro that I had was Olivia Miles is the captain of who runs the ship, and I think that's true. Just off the way that everyone responded when she got in the game, she absolutely just shifted everything. This team's really good at rebounding. They have really good effort. And then I said, I know it's only game one, but the offensive efficiency was there. They didn't take a lot of bad shots. Like when you put these super teams or these really star, type teams together, everyone wants to shoot. Everyone wants to, take threes. But it didn't seem like that. It seemed like everyone were taking timely shots. The ball was moving and et cetera, et cetera. I only had one con for game one, and it was that the ladies, they can't beat themselves. So that was pretty much it. Just don't beat yourselves and know the type of team you are. I know that they haven't been playing with each other for that long, but you can't go out there and beat yourselves. Game two was versus Colombia, and the starters were Olivia Miles, Kennedy Smith, Reagan Beers, Joyce Edwards, and Gina Nipsky. You could tell in game two versus Colombia that this team was a lot more locked in. They had defensive hands. They were communicating. They were pointing out who's guarding who. They were causing so many turnovers, turning those turnovers into transition buckets. And, yeah, it was just like they looked like a whole different team from game one to game two. It might have been the competition level, but, I mean, they just were locked in. Like, they were locked in. Some of my standouts in this game was Kennedy Smith. She absolutely dominated the defensive end. She couldn't stop being seen on defensive end, meaning like she was bullying the other players. She was using her hands. She was getting a lot of steals off of lazy passes. She was a little bit better offensively in this game, too. She didn't do much in game one, but in this game, she was a lot better. She had some good assists. She crashed the boards pretty well, and I think she hit a three. Then again in game two, we had Olivia Miles again showing up as one of my top standouts. She controlled the pace of the game again. She came in with some crazy dimes. The opposing team, like, it would be like she would get the ball at the top of the key, and the opposing team basically had to respect her jump shot. Because if they weren't stepping out for her jump shot, she was just driving right past layup, driving right past dish. So she controlled the entire game, man. I was really impressed with her. And I think after I seen her game two performance is when I told myself, like, okay, yeah, definitely Big 12 Player of the Year. Definitely might be able to take her team on a March Madness run. So I was really impressed with Olivia Miles. And then my last standout, I have two more standouts, were Reagan Beers, who I wasn't really familiar with, and I forget what school she goes to, but she's a forward. She's really good at killing the boards. She gave Team USA a lot of second chance opportunities with her crashing the boards and getting rebounds and kicking them back out. I like for her to finish a little bit better, closer to the rim, but she was getting like hack a Shaq basically. Every time she got the ball or tried to go up, they would be fouling her. So that's the benefit of the doubt that I would give her, but I like to see her finish a little bit better. And, I got to tap into her because I didn't really know who she was, but it seems to me that she's a really good basketball player. Next, I have Michaela Blakes, who is another person I wasn't familiar with. I think she goes to Vanderbilt. I may be wrong, but she is the perfect player that Coach Lawson likes. High energy, good spark off the bench. She started in a few games, I think. Game 1, I think she started, but high energy, good spark off the bench, just brings a lot of good energy. Offensively and defensively, can shoot the lights out. And then this game against Colombia, she led the team in scoring with 15 points. And and Team USA won this game 80-43 over Colombia. The next game was Puerto Rico, and I just want to say, if you watch any game or any highlights, this would be the game to watch. This game told me a lot about this team. The level of competition was there. The hoops was there. Like, this was I don't want to exaggerate, but this was definitely like almost like a masterclass type of game, because you got to see some really talented women's basketball players in general, women basketball players, but college basketball players go against pros. I think this Puerto Rico team had a few pros on their team, and I just really like the way that Team USA responded to that. It was physical. They threw some zone at them, and they still didn't buck. And it was just one of those games where I was really glued to the TV, and I was like, man, this is some really good hoops. I didn't put many notes just because, like I said, I was into this game so much, but it was a lot of back and forth. I think Team USA started to separate when they got a 13-0 run against Puerto Rico in the third quarter. But there were two players who stood out to me who weren't that effective in Game 1 and Game 2 against Chile and Colombia. But Madison Booker and Hannah Adogo both played outstanding in this game. They hit really big shots for Team USA. When the games were tied up or when the games were one-possession games, they both would hit really tough shots. Hannah Adogo getting to the rack, finishing strong, being a pest on defense. Madison Booker hitting some big threes, some big mid-ranges. Just like, her game is just so smooth and silky. So I was impressed with both of them because they've been really quiet Game 1. They were really quiet in Game 1 and Game 2, but they stepped up big in this game. And then my MVPs were Gina Nipsky and Grace Van Sloten. I might be butchering her last name. But Van Sloten was, oh my goodness, she was killing. So was Nipsky. She was knocking down those threes. She hit, I think she hit 4 threes. She finished with 14 points. And then Van Sloten finished with 9. And Team USA ended up getting the victory, 80-62. So this was one of the closest margins out of any game they played so far. Excuse me. And then Game 4, they played Mexico. I didn't write much in this game. I'll put up the box score in the video, but they beat Mexico 104-48. I didn't think there was much to talk about. Nipsky led them in scoring. She had 20 points. I think she had 4 threes again. So, yeah, I think now they're out of exhibition, and they're going into, I guess, elimination. So it'll be good. It'll be good to see. I'll probably have another video, Hopefully they make the championship game, because I would love to watch that and give you guys a video on that. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I really do appreciate you guys for showing love and support. I hope this video gets a lot of love and support. We're really, really close to the start of the season. So we've got to build ourselves a bigger support system. We've got to build ourselves a bigger army. And, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing, keep sharing as well. We've like I said, we've got to build this community of good and great basketball fans of women's college basketball, and just show love and appreciation to the game. That's all I have for you guys today. I'm out. See you guys next time. Peace.